collaboration between all stakeholders, as I say earlier on, particularly now that we've come together and collectively discuss the issue of mutual consent. We hope that the programs going forward will also be inclusive as well as targeted so that we move with one accord as we seek to protect children on the wild jungle of internet space.
Industry has a vital role to play in children's safety online. There are today various global initiatives calling on industry to act. The We Protect Global Strategic Response, which is a global response to online child abuse, explicitly outlines the role that technology companies have in eliminating child sexual exploitation and abuse. It calls industry on mainly 4 issues to develop innovative solutions. For example, the use of technology, including artificial intelligence, detect, block, and prevent illegal and exploitative materials.
The cyberspace has created an environment where crimes of sexual abuse can permanently circulate discreetly and repeatedly offend the survivor of abuse. They don't age. Once the images of the internet, it will circulate for as many times as the digital project, and it will not age. So if a child was molested at the age of 5, that child will now, when they are grown up, they will remain 5 years and it will continue to circulate. So they become new with the circulation and the number of offenders also increase. That's the challenge that we are having with online protection.
It says that opportunity provided for the digital environment play an increasingly crucial role in children's development and may even be vital for children's life and survival, particularly in situations of crisis. Again, coming back to COVID and lockdown and looking at how technology has in many instances been critical for children's right to education and to life, play, and for many children has shifted online. So what it means to be a child has changed fundamentally in many cases. It also says that state parties should promote awareness of and access to digital means for children to express their views and offer training and support to children. Something that's going to become very critical for industry, I think in my view, is how industry engages with children and how can industry offer that sort of training and support in ways that's aligned with the mandate and what it is that agencies. So,
here's what the actual assessment guide itself looks like. It covers many different areas of a mobile operator's business, including human resources, procurement, network operations, and more specifically relevant to this conversation, children and the digital environment, which also spans issues of data and marketing, etc. And the tool itself provides a quick overview snapshot of how different arenas are being addressed through meeting, baseline, and further action indicators. It is a visual snapshot. It does not provide, there is much more detailed assessment that is needed to understand where are the highest, most salient risks to children and where should effort be prioritized. But really the guide and the tool itself really tries to support companies in being able to identify where are those weak spots.
So what are the key areas for protecting and promoting children? One of the key areas is that we need to integrate child rights consideration in all appropriate corporate policies for the industry and management processes. We need to develop standards and processes to handle sexual abuse of children and material. We need to create a safer, age-appropriate environment for children. We need to educate children, carriers, parents, everyone in the ecosystem about this need for children's safety, their responsibility, and we also have to promote digital technology as a mode of creating civic engagement. So in the guidelines that we put together, and my colleague from UNICEF was talking about with them early in the morning, we have key recommendations that we provide to each key stakeholder. What are you going to be doing as the industry? For instance, for all industries, we are inviting you to put in place child protection and safeguarding policies that integrate specific risks and opportunities pertaining to children, and making sure that they're embedded into your company-wide policies and commitments.
And I mentioned self-generated and the huge rise that we saw that last year already, but also specifically even more this year. As I said, 117% increase in the first 6 months of 2021 compared to the first 6 months of 2020. And self-generated child sexual abuse is basically when a child is coerced or groomed or manipulated into creating images or videos of themselves, like for example nude photos, to be sent to someone on the other side of the screen. I know that a few other speakers talked about that type of abuse already. And of course, even though it was created by the child is still a victim there. We can see that it affects children aged between 7 and 17 years old, but we see the majority of children being 11 to 13-year-old girls specifically.
So the URL list, this is where we made a list available to ISPs and to mobile network operators so they can block access to the URLs that contain child sexual abuse while we're working behind the scenes to have this content removed to source. And it's really important to use this list so that you can protect your end users from accidentally stumbling across this type of content. What's unique about the RBF URL list is dynamic, so we're adding content to it. So every day, in fact twice a day, we're adding new URLs to them as our analysts are finding them. But we also go through the list and remove the URLs that no longer contain the criminal content, so that you will never be over-blocking with the RBF URL list.
And that technology will automatically identify and remove that material. The Tech Coalition, the second example, is new examples of abusive material. This is stuff that is never newly created and has never been seen on any platform. It's much harder to identify, remove, and report new imagery than known imagery. So a lot of work is being done to develop technologies that can do this more consistently. And once a new piece of CSAM has been identified, that information needs to be shared quickly among industries so that the images do not spread. The Tech Coalition is helping support the wider adoption of both of these categories of technology by making them easier to access and use, and helping share best practices across industry. That's making it harder for criminals to upload abusive imagery, ultimately helping protect victims.